I know all of you have had lunch recently, and I'm going to ask you to do a little exercise. Would you mind cooperating with me? Please stand for a moment. I guess it's one way to demand a standing ovation. Thank you so much. You may sit back down. So many of you might be thinking, my God, who is this girl? She's trying to demand things from us even before she starts, right? But I just want you to take one moment to think that what you did just now, I cannot do, and many thousands like me cannot. So just the fact that you are in a body that's cooperating with you, that is healthy, and that does everything you ask for it is something to be grateful for, is it not? So just that moment of gratitude I wanted you to start with. So surfing the tsunami, when they told me to speak about that, I think most of the people here are people who have been exceptionally successful in your lives. Life has been very kind, and you have probably been in your comfort zone all your lives and been successful at everything you started. But somehow, I want to ask, what does success mean to you? Would any of you like to answer? Is it possible to take some mics around? I would like it to be interactive. Anybody, what does success mean to you?
Check.
Sorry? Being happy for oneself. That's wonderful. That's a great reply. But what does that mean? What does being happy mean?
Fulfilling my dream.
Sorry?
Fulfilling my dream.
Fulfilling your
Dream.
dream.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fulfillment of desire is happiness? Is that something you're agreeing with, ma'am? The one who said, being happy in myself. So the fulfillment of desire is happiness? No.
It's not about myself. It's about others, you know.
Sorry?
No, you know, what I'm trying to say is like happiness is like living for others.
Living for others?
Yes.
Wow. Sir, are you happy?
Yes.
Are you living for others?
Yes, if you ask me, I can tell how I am living for others, you know.
How, sir?
In Ethiopia, we have a foundation which we, you know, at school we started like collecting, you know, people who don't have parents.
Correct.
So we send them to school, we feed them, they have a house, we give them also, you know, disabilities, wheelchair. We do that at this age, so that's happiness to me, you know.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
basically what he said is that they are supporting orphans and disabled people. Can I? Great. There's a ramp there.
Hi, Preeti.
Yes, this is great.
Yeah, this is.
It's not so bright, thankfully.
Hi. My
Yes,
thing
sir.
of success, happiness is basically when you make somebody smile, and when you give to somebody and the person smiles, that's my life.
Absolutely. So all these answers are perfectly in alignment with what I felt is true happiness. Is
Check.
we empower orphans and give homes to people who don't have homes. Oh, that light is so bright, I can't open my eyes. Can we switch off that light? Okay. கொஞ்சம் மேலேந்து வந்தா கூட பரவாயில்ல, டைரக்டா அடிக்கிறேன். So, yes.
I am here, I am Rotarian Jay Sri Raghunathan.
Okay, yes,
Being a person of good values is a success.
Of good values.
Being a person of good values.
But what is a good value?
Values in life,
Yeah, somebody might say 10 crores in my bank is a good value.
helping others, being happy,
Helping others.
volunteering yourself, raising yourself above.
Yes. So here are successful people who have already decided that doing something for others is meaningful for them. So that's really a great place for me to start, because success for me is not about having everything. If we see the most so-called successful people that society deems to be successful, right? Mega billionaires, the leaders of countries, and extremely powerful, wealthy, most of them don't seem to be very happy. They seem to still be running after something. They seem to be afraid of losing what they already have. And for me, that's not a really great place to be. The person who is most successful to me is the person that needs nothing. That is absolutely at peace with himself or herself in the present moment, is utterly content, has a heart brimming over with joy and gratitude and bliss. Because here and now, everything is perfect. So for me, I have had to do a lot of unlearning in my life, because as a young child, I'm an only child. I started swimming at the age of 3. By the age of 8, I was a state level gold medalist. I started playing cricket at the age of 4. By the age of 8, I was in the playing 11 of the Tamil Nadu senior women's cricket team. When I was the captain of the under-19 girls team of Tamil Nadu, it's the only time we ever won a national level tournament. So apparently it was very smooth sailing for me. But at the age of 18, there was a tsunami in my life. It didn't look like a tsunami. I had gone for a college excursion to Pondicherry, and while playing in about thigh-deep water, I stumbled into the water, and a person who has dived into water millions of times in her life, the moment my face went underwater, I felt like a shock-like sensation travel through my body, and in that split second, I couldn't move. From being in a absolutely Olympic level fit body that was training 6-7 hours a day, I went into a body that was quadriplegic, that couldn't feed itself, that couldn't urinate, that couldn't have any control over its bowel movements, that couldn't eat the food on its plate. And I couldn't bear it. I was just 18 years old. I didn't understand, and I couldn't absorb. It just shattered me. It shattered my sense of self. And for about nearly a decade, I went into my shell. I decided, Hakuna Matata, if the world turns its back on me, I will turn my back on the world. And I tried to escape my reality. But how long can you do that, right? How many of you here play any sport or any game, even video games? Many people, I think, are on the phone even now, maybe not playing games, but many of us. So how many of us want to remain in the beginner's level all our lives? It's very easy. You just go like that, and then you shoot a couple of people, and then you're winning. How many of us want to remain beginners in our lives? Nobody, right? We want to excel. We want to do absolutely the best we can under the most difficult circumstances. Right? We always choose level 5, level 6 of difficulty, and then we still want to become the highest scorers. Right? Agreed or not? So how come in life we don't want that? In life, we want to be in our comfort zone. And not only that, we teach our children also that. Go to the best school, get the best of clothes, go to the best college, get the best job, marry the best person, and then repeat. What's the point of that existence? So, something when we lead our lives that is beyond our comfort zone, we need to find a greater purpose in life. Life has to be something more than I, me, myself, and mine. And even as a child, actually, I had only one prayer. My mother used to tell me to go and do puja before I go to school, and I always had many complaints doing that. I would say I don't remember any shlokas. I would say I'm late for school. I would make 100 excuses, but she put her foot down and she would say, no, you go there and stand for 5 minutes and then you get out, but you have to go there. And the only recurring desire I ever had was to become a blank slate. I don't know how an 8-year-old knows what a blank slate is, but that's the only desire I had. But then life happens and you want to fulfill your parents' desires, and then you go to school and you do this, that, and the other thing, and you keep writing on the blackboard. And if you keep writing on the blackboard, it can never become a blank slate. Right? And so it took me a long time. But at some point, through 2 near-death experiences, I found that actually God had answered my desire. The being's deepest desire to become a blank slate was answered. And today I get to live a life that is truly beyond myself. I get to serve as an instrument of the divine, to be the face and voice of an invisible segment of society that are dying away. And we are not even statistics. The government of India is yet to recognize spinal cord injury as a specific multiple disability. There are no rehabilitation centers. It's not part of rehabilitation, is not part of any government insurance scheme. And if I should say to the top government officials, how many spinal cord injuries happen every year, this year in the state of Tamil Nadu, we don't know. So I've heard many times in the West, people say, oh, but I'm just a statistic. But I'm here to tell you, I don't even have the luxury of being a statistic. Because they keep me for 10 days in the hospital, and as soon as the government insurance money is over, they just say there's nothing more that can be done for you, and then that's it. You can go home and wait to die. So 2 years after my accident, I tried to join college. And this person who was apparently in the top 2 percentile of the American student population was told that there are no lifts, no ramps. Why do people like you come to study? We were very clearly told that it's not on the basis of disability, you are not worthy of joining college. As per the Indian census, only 6% of girls with disability even get to go to school. So out of 100 girls with disability, 94 of them don't even get to go to school. They are malnourished. They don't get an education. Then how will we become employable? How can we become empowered to become productive members of our society if not even our most basic rights are fulfilled? So this was the tsunami that I was faced with. The tsunami that destroyed my sense of identity. For the first 10 years after my accident, there is not one photograph I refused to even see the mirror because I didn't recognize the person in the mirror. All my life, I had been looked at with eyes of approval, with eyes of appreciation and admiration, like I was a star. And then the way people saw me, I felt invisible. I would get panic attacks. My father's friends decided not to be friends with us anymore because they felt our misfortune would badly impact them. And then my father, he was an engineer, he was a successful man. But watching his daughter in this position, it broke his heart. And at the age of 57, one day, he had a heart attack, 100% blockage of all 4 arteries. Overnight, he passed away. 4 days after that, my mother had a heart attack. And I had an 80-year-old grandmother to take care of, no income, and no way to support myself. I had never taken a meaningful decision in my life, and I was suddenly the breadwinner and the decision maker of my household. And then the miracles started happening. Somebody gave me a speech-activated software and a job. And suddenly, I wasn't a burden anymore. And today, with that speech-activated software, I can challenge any of you that I can type faster than you. And in fact, the girl who was denied admission into a correspondence course of college has fought her way and has become the first woman with a 90% disability to ever gain admission into the PhD program of IIT Madras. So that's how you learn to surf the tsunami. And when you do that, then you can laugh in the face of any adversity because nothing touches you. I had so much fear. My deepest, greatest fear was that what would happen if my parents were not there to support me? If they were not there to protect me? Where would I go? How would I live? And these days, if we don't have an answer to something, we Google it, right? And Google is an adult now, so I Googled it. And we are 1/6 of the world's population, but there is not one center in all of India where a woman like me can go and live with dignity, even if I can pay. And what about the thousands of Indians who cannot pay? You know what great options we have? We can either be abandoned onto the streets or we can be forced to commit suicide. And that's what happened. When my mother had that 7-hour quintuple bypass surgery, I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I didn't know where my parents would, my grandmother would stay. And I had to manage all these things. Who would take care of me? And all these adult questions. And I was a kid because my father had given me so much love. All I had to do was say, Appa, I need this. And then he was not there anymore. So from that point, when I was really shattered one more time, I came to know that actually I was the best case scenario. Because other girls and boys in my condition were being forced to commit suicide by their own families. They were being told, நீ எல்லாம் தண்ட சோறு, நீ இருக்கிறதுனால தான் உங்க அண்ணாவை யாரும் கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்க வரல. அதனால நீ தயவு செஞ்சு குடு, எதையானும் சாப்பிட்டு செத்து போயிடுன்னு பாய்சன் வாஸ் லெஃப்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் டு தம். அது 3 மாதம் டைம்குள்ள ரெண்டு கேர்ள்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி இறந்து போயிட்டா. பேராப்ளீஜிக் கேர்ள்ஸ் who could work with their hands, who could cook and clean. அதெல்லாம் பண்ணினவங்க அவங்க வீட்டில் அவங்கள நீ உயிரோடையே இருக்காதன்னு சொல்லி அவங்க இறந்து போயிட்டாங்க. அப்போதான் எனக்கு தோணித்து, என்னது இதுக்கு மேலே எனக்கு பயம். அப்போ எங்கள் அம்மாவுக்கு சர்ஜரி நடக்க போகிறது. அண்டு அப்போ அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, நீ ஆரம்பி, நீ ஏதானும் பண்ணு, எனக்கு உண்மையில நம்பிக்கை இருந்ததுன்னு. அப்போ நான் சிரித்தேன். அம்மா, என்னால் தட்டில் சாப்பாடு கூட சாப்பிட முடியலையா? நான் சென்டர் நடத்தி ஆர்கனைசேஷன் நடத்தி நிறைய பேரை காப்பாற்றணும், என்னால் எப்படி முடியும்? I was truly disabled then by the fear of failure. And unfortunately, I feel fear is one of the strongest drivers in the world. பயத்தினால தான் நம்ம நிறைய விஷயம் பண்ணுறோம். பயத்தினால தான் நம்ம நிறைய விஷயம் பண்ணாத விட்டுடுறோம். பண்ணணுங்கிற நிறைய விஷயம் விட்டுடுறோம். பண்ணக்கூடாது, ஐயோ விட்டுட்டு போயிடுவாளோ அப்படின்ற பயத்தில் சில விஷயம் பண்ணுறோம். சில அடியெல்லாம் கூட வாங்கிக்கிறோம். பெண்கள் எஸ்பெஷலி, நிறைய பெண்கள், டிசேபிள் பெண்கள் அவ்வளோ அப்யூஸ் சகிச்சுக்கிறாங்க. ஏன்னா வெளியில் போய் அவங்களுக்கு வாழ தெரியாது. This might be true for so-called normal women as well. வெளியில் சொல்ல முடியாத நிறைய விஷயம் சகிச்சுக்கிறோம் பயத்தினால. எனக்கும் பயம். அதனால் என்னால் என்ன முடியும் அப்படின்ற பயத்தில் நான் பண்ணல. அப்புறம் 3 மாதத்துக்குள்ளே 2 பெண்கள் செத்து போயிட்டா. அப்போ என்ன நினச்சேன், வாட்ஸ் த வேர்ஸ்ட் தட் கேன் ஹேப்பன்? எனக்கு என்ன பயம்? எனக்கு அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் தெரியாது, லா தெரியாது, ஆர்கனைசேஷன் என்ஜிஓ எப்படி நடத்தணும் தெரியாது. அப்போது 3 மாதத்தில் இந்த 2 பெண்கள் செத்து போன அப்புறம் ஐ செட், என்ன மிஞ்சி போனால் என்ன நடக்க போகிறது? ஜெயிலில் போடுவாளா? அப்போவானும் 2 பேர் வச்சு நம்மளை காப்பாற்றணும்ல, ஜெயிலில் போய் சாக முடியாது. அப்படியான நம்மளுக்கு கேர் கிவர்ஸ் கிடச்சிருவா அப்படின்ற ஒரு தாட்டில் தான் ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் சோல் ஃப்ரீ. Soul Free is a public charitable trust that was registered in 2013. Inniki we are serving more than 3,000 families of people who live below the line of poverty and are facing permanent paralysis after a spinal cord injury. Spinal cord injury can happen to anyone at any time. யாருக்கு வேணா எந்த நிமிடத்தில் வேணா பாதிக்கலாம். யூஎஸ்ல ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு வருஷத்தில் 18,000 கேசஸ் ஆறுது. 38 நிமிஷத்துக்கு ஒரு வாட்டி ஒரு ஸ்பைனல் கார்டு இன்ஜுரி ஆகுது. இந்தியாவில் இதுக்கான ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸே இல்லை, இதுக்கான ரீஹபிலிட்டேஷன் சென்டர்ஸ் இல்லை, சோஷியல் செக்யூரிட்டி இல்லை, சோஷியல் சப்போர்ட் சிஸ்டம் இல்லை, கேர் கிவர்ஸ் சப்போர்ட்ஸ் இல்லை, ட்ரெயின்ட் கேர் கிவர்ஸ் கிடைக்க மாட்டேன்றா. ஸோ லிட்ரலாக வாழறதுக்கான எந்த வழியும் இல்லை அப்படின்னு எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சதுக்கப்புறம் தான் வி ஸ்டார்டட் சப்போர்ட்டிங். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி வீல் சேர்ஸ் கொடுத்தோம், ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் பெட் கொடுத்தோம், இது எஜுகேஷ்னல் சப்போர்ட் கொடுத்தோம். ஆனால் அதுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கு அப்புறமும் என்ன தெரிஞ்சதுன்னா, ஆக்சுவலாக வி ஹவ் நாட் ட்ரெயின் தெம். இந்த புது உடம்புல எப்படி வாழறது, எப்படி வேலை செய்யறதுன்னு அவங்களுக்கு ட்ரைனிங் இல்லைன்னா அப்போ எதை தான் கொடுத்தாலும் அவங்க திருப்பி பெட்டுக்கே வந்துடுவாங்க. ஸோ தேட்ஸ் வென் in 2019 we started the Soul Free, 2021 we started the Soul Free Inspire Center. Inspire stands for Integrated Spinal Rehabilitation, and this is India's first integrated spinal rehabilitation center. We are a 50-bedded center that is providing holistic support. There is music, there is dance, there are movies. என்னோட rehabilitation happened in the Rehab Institute of Chicago, and I was 18 years old and almost Olympic level fit. So pushing my body beyond its limit was nothing new to me. என் உடம்பை வந்து நான் அதை கஷ்டப்பட நிறைய வாட்டி வச்சுருக்கேன், அண்ட் எனக்கு எப்போவுமே அதுக்கு ஒத்துழைச்சிருக்கு. But then my heart wasn't. எனக்கு நான் ஏன் உயிரோடு இருக்கேன்னே தெரியல. இந்த மாதிரி உடம்புல எதுக்கு உயிரோடு இருக்கிறது அப்படின்னு நான் போராடின்னு இருக்கும்போது கையாட்டு, தாலாட்டுனா ஏதானும் கெட்ட வார்த்தை சொல்லி திட்டி அடிச்சிடலாம் போலதான் வரும். அப்போ ரீஹேப் பண்ண தோணாது. So if you don't give a person a reason to live, if you don't make them feel valued, if they don't want to live for themselves, then not all the physiotherapy in the world can help them. So at our center, the main thrust is to re-engineer their sense of self, make them feel worthy again, make them want to live again, make them feel that there's nothing wrong. It's not a disease. Spinal cord injury is not a disease. The brain is fine, the body is fine, just there is a land strike. What the brain is saying, the body doesn't hear, and what the body is saying, the brain doesn't hear. That's all. So that's what I tell them. I will give you all the skills you need to go out there, to become totally self-reliant, physically, psychologically, and from a socio-economic perspective. We give them the skills they need, tailoring, they make their own soaps. We give them computer training. Our whole goal is when they go back home, they should be in a position to earn money. And we are succeeding in that. Over the last 3 years, more than 300 people who have come to us bedridden, with bed sores, with wounds in their bodies, with worms in their bodies, are now walking with calipers and earning their own money. But soul-free, we have just started. We would like to have a center in every state. If there are any government representatives, it would be great, because every center can save thousands of lives. There is not one other like this anywhere. The ones that are there are prohibitively expensive. They charge between 5,000 and 35,000 rupees a day. And all our services are provided free of cost, including food. And we have a very special high fiber, low carb diet, because many of us, when we become wheelchair users, food becomes our friend. Perhaps the only pleasure left to us. So we eat emotionally, and many of them end up having diabetes, they end up having obesity issues within the first year. So we change their diet completely. And people who come to us with chronic constipation, they are able to get complete freedom from that within 15 days. So our transformative services. But what is the problem is that people like me, lower level injuries, who are able to walk with calipers, they're able to ride retrofitted scooters, I'm able to make them independent again. But people like me who cannot use their hands and fingers, how will I make them work? I keep them for 9 months, get them full training, and then send them home, and then the wife leaves them or the mother passes away, and then they die within months. So we want to enable them to get voice-based jobs. Our next project will be called Soul Voice. And anybody with hand and finger impairments will get training to become call center operators, BPO operators. They can sell tickets online, anything that they can use their voice to make money. Because the bottom line is the bottom line. If you have money in your pocket, you're not treated like shit. And at least for that, they will keep you alive. And after Soul Voice, we're embarking on another impactful project called Soul Care. And the Soul Care project is all about caregivers. I don't know how many of you have parents or in-laws or grandparents at home who are immobile, and the nursing care is really poor. And they're charging 30, 40, 50,000, and they sit on the phone and they give people medicines, or the care they give is really almost abusive sometimes. And people like us are not getting support. Actually, I got a phone call from a boy and he was crying. His mother had collapsed on the floor beside him. He's a wheelchair user. He couldn't go and help her. He called everyone in the neighborhood and nobody came to help. So we got government to support, and his mother was taken to the hospital. And while his mother was in the hospital, he could not even drink water or eat anything, because if his urine bag was full, nobody was there to empty it. And this happened to me. This year, my mother needed 2 surgeries in a year. She had a knee replacement surgery, and when she was in the hospital, the nurses at our center refused to help me with my most basic, intimate requirements. That was the time they decided to ask for a huge hike. And I told them, no, you can't threaten me. I will go on water fasting. You can take everything away, but you can't take away my self-respect.
Check. Ms. Priti,
Yes.
last 2 minutes, please.
Yes. So this became soul care. We need caregivers, and we have decided that we'll be the bridge. We will take people from marginalized segments of society, like children of prisoners, acid attack survivors, many college kids who are forced to drop out of college. And we are going to bring them all together and make a certification course to become a personalized caregiver, personal care attendants. And I feel this could be a huge project for all of India, because in a certain segment of India is getting older. People are getting strokes at 30 and 40. And also, dementia is growing by 350% in India. We are going to need caregivers. And if we don't have sensitized people with heart who will take care of us, then it's going to be very difficult in the future. And finally, Soul-Free's vision is to create the Soul-Free Shambhala village, where we will have a self-sustaining, inclusive village, where we will run businesses that will employ people who are in wheelchair, and there we can live and die with dignity. And I would certainly request all of you to come and visit our Soul-Free Inspire Center at Tiruvannamalai. And please support our future projects, because there is a very large segment of India that is currently invisible. And we are dying away, and nobody knows about it, and nobody cares. But the UN mandate is that no one should be left behind. And if we want to do that, and Mahatma Gandhi also said, the true metal of any society is in the way it treats its weakest link. And we may be the weakest link physically, but I stand here as a resilient person, speaking to you with full strength, that if we are given a chance, if the playing field is made equal to us, we don't want sympathy. We want a chance to prove ourselves. And we deserve to have a life of dignity. And it is society's duty to be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thoroughly motivated, Ms. Preeti Srinivasan. You have reiterated that it's all in the mind. Disability is just a word, and how one can turn around by sheer hard work and tenacity. Rotarians, see how you and your club can support the Soul Free Foundation. I invite President Muthu, President Kanya Vardhan, along with District DG and Conference Chair to the stage. President Muthu and President Kanya Vardhan. May I request President Muthu of the Rotary Club of Madras East to present a Ponnada. President Muthu? Okay. Yeah. Conference chair is presenting a Ponnade. And District Governor Saravanan will present a memento to Ms. Preeti Srinivas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Preeti. And gentlemen, may I request you to kindly take your seats.